Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wannabes podcast. If you are new here, I am your host, Morgan, and that is my co host, Dreaded. But today we are joined by two fantastic guests, and we want to welcome French Kitty and Brian San. Thank you so much for joining.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good night. I'm excited to review none other than Iron Lungs, which is the new indie film made by Markiplier.
Shout out Markiplier!
Whoop, whoop.
I should have tagged him. Maybe he would have showed up for this.
I did tag him in our social post earlier today.
Markiplier, get your ass in here. We gotta talk to you.
Made by @Markiplier. Get in here.
Mark.
My buddy Mark, get your butt in here. Let's go.
Can you imagine? That'd be sick. Not gonna lie. That'd be pretty
That would be sick.
Hashtag Wilford Warpstash.
Yes. According to his mother, basically like Messiah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, before we dive into our movie review, Dreaded did find a few pieces of entertainment news that we're going to discuss. So, Dreaded, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
All right. First things first. So, in the past couple of weeks on the podcast, me and Luke particularly have been talking about the upcoming live adaptation of God of War that'll be premiering on Amazon Prime. I don't know when they'll release, though. They have been casting. They initially cast Ryan Hurst as Kratos, which is kind of hilarious because Ryan Hurst plays Thor in God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
They also cast Teresa Palmer as Sif, and now it has just come out that the playing live-action Thor is Olafur Dari Olafsson. I don't know who that is, actually, so I went and looked him up on Wikipedia. I mean, the only thing I've seen, he's in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. He's in The Last Witch Hunter. A Walk on the Tombstone. Zoolander 2. What the hell is BF? Oh, wait, that's Big Friendly Giant. I thought it was Big Fucking Gun from Doom. Spy Who Died. He's also in The Meg. Okay, so I do know him from a few things. He is also a voice in How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, as Rangar the Rock. Morgan, you probably know that. Yeah. So, yeah, he will be playing Thor. Also, fun fact, he also has provided the Icelandic voice of characters in animated films such as Ice Age, Lilo and Stitch, Brother Bear, and Kung Fu Panda.
Fantastic movie.
So, there we go. So, we've got our Thor.
Looking at the cast on IMDb, we do have quite a few, actually. Heimdall is also casted, so is, fuck, how do I say his name? Mimir. Brock and
who they got from Mimir? Wait, I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Yeah, if you look at the IMDb page. But we have for Mimir, we have Alistair Duncan. We have for Brock, we have Danny Woodburn, and then for Sindri, Jeff Golak. Gulkak. Gulka is actually how I say it, because I said all the other versions wrong.
Also we also have Odin, Mandy Patinkin, and if Alistair Duncan has come back as Mimir, because that's the actual voice in the game, so that's perfect. Hell yeah!
Yeah, that makes me happy, and he's phenomenal.
Yes, he is. He is one of my favorite characters.
He plays Mimir very, very well.
So yeah, the live action adaptation is coming along, and I still got my reservations, but it's still cool.
Thing is I need to see, just because I love him in general before he was even Kratos, I need to see my man Christopher Judge have some sort of role in here. I think it'd be a really nice little cameo for the show. For those who don't know, that is the actual voice actor for Kratos.
I
wonder if they're going to do the whole movie in one shot like they do the games.
That'd be pretty sick. That'd be really cool.
We'll see about that.
Very ballsy.
Ballsy as fuck with how much CG's gonna have to go into it, but that'd be sick.
How do you guys think Ryan Hurst will look with a bald head?
I'm not used to Ryan Hurst a lot, so I don't know.
I think he'll be able to pull it off.
I will say the only
so much makeup on him, it's gonna be fine.
The only thing I'm really worried about, honestly, is because they're starting with the Norse world, not the Greek world, which I get to a degree, but at the same time, there's a lot of story there. A lot.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they're just going to fast forward to like Kratos kind of already being established rather than going through like his origin.
Probably so.
That
They
could
could
be.
tell his story via flashback storytelling.
Right.
So, yep, there's our God of War news. Moving on.
I'm excited for it.
Moving on. That is not news. That is hentai. Okay, here we go. So, Fast and Furious, ladies and gentlemen.
My co-host,
We-
everybody.
Yeah, whatever. Y'all know what I'm about at this point. So
What?
we haven't gotten a Fast and Furious movie since 2023. We last had Fast 10 or Fast X, which ended on a motherfucking cliffhanger. And now, finally, after all this time, the final Fast and Furious movie has been announced, which will be in theaters March 17, 2028, titled Fast Forever. That's hilarious. That is actually hilarious.
Is this the second to last one?
Oh no, this is supposed to be the final one.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it
You
was
said
11
that.
or 12.
That's why I said supposed to be.
See,
You say that,
I
right?
could see this being like the end of the main story franchise, but then they'll reboot it with spin-offs.
Yeah, they're gonna like Stranger Things it.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
keep milking that cow.
Yeah.
Well, that is actually a possibility because there was once a point where it was rumored that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Momoa were going to start in a spinoff called Hobbs and Reyes, which was basically going to be a quote-unquote sequel to Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know if
There's
that's
gonna
ever
be a Fast TV show probably.
Yeah, a lot of people liked Hobbs and Shaw, so
Yeah, it was
do
fun.
well.
It was stupid but fun.
Are
So
all of
yeah,
them? Other than the
pretty.
first three.
I mean, the fourth one I don't really like that much. I suppose.
Yeah, fourth one was good enough.
Yeah. But yeah, Fast and Furious, the final film is hopefully coming, and better late than ever, if you ask me.
Where are we going? We've already gone to fucking space.
All right, let
We're
me
about to
think.
find aliens.
We done dragged a safe full of money across the streets of Rio. We done fought a tank. We took down a cargo plane. We parachuted out
The
with
Bermuda
cars.
Triangle.
We jumped building to building. Dominic Toretto stomped on the street and said the street always wins and caused a ripple effect that's defeated Jason Statham.
Oh man.
The Rock pushed a torpedo towards bad guys. And we
Didn't he
Tarzan
shoot one out the air
swang.
with a revolver too?
Nah. Well, he did shoot a belt of grenades that was stuck to a helicopter that Dominic Toretto somehow got onto the helicopter after driving off of a makeshift ramp that was made from falling parking garage debris, and then grazed it, got the belt on there, and then Hobbs shot it.
Hey, what stopped me from like really caring about Fast and Furious and knowing it was a joke was when Dominic Toretto crashed a car off of a cliff, flew out of the window, and his white tee was still like squeaky clean. Not a scratch on him.
He's superhuman, man.
It's magic.
I just want to know where he gets his white tees from.
Man, that man must
Chris
be
Angel.
shopping at Wakanda or something. So yeah, we will see. We still got some time to go before we get more Fast and Furious, but at least we know it's coming. And guys, you have been fun, but stop. It's time to stop.
Stop. What is he even turned into now?
I mean, it's fun. Just guys,
Just
That's
stop.
all it is. Just fun. I
yeah.
heard they were playing with like toy cars inside of the like meeting room when they were coming up with like the script for the next movies.
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is also true.
That's what I would do.
Why not, right?
I mean, I know the one guy's son even, had some had like dreams and stuff and ideas, and that he implemented stuff that his kid had told him.
Yeah. So there's that.
What they could do is like go back in time, right? Like not go back in time physically, but like, make a movie based in like the 70s or 80s or something, Have like some old school
I was
cars
like, are
in
we
it.
back to the futuring right now?
I mean,
Yes.
would you guys be surprised if they did find a time machine
we
in
went
Fast
to
and Furious?
space. Like, I feel like that
Exactly.
could be
I
the
can't even
next
remember
sci-fi
why.
catalyst.
What was the point of them going into outer space? Like it left my mind for some reason. Like, why did they shoot off into space?
They needed to hack. They needed to do something specific with a satellite to save the world from this virus.
Oh, okay. Well,
Something like that.
there you go.
They should
Yeah.
just
I don't
Mario Karted.
No, I got
Yeah.
it. That's the next. That's the next. They're gonna make a like LA version of Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
No.
I'm here
Oh
for
my
it.
gosh.
They need to make it 3D too. We need to get our 3D glasses on.
Heck
That's
yeah.
right.
Heck yeah.
Get the rumble chairs and everything, so you
4D
can really
seats.
feel like it. Like you're in the car with them.
All right, that was actually the news I had. Kitty, you brought up a couple of things off stream as well that I forgot what they were.
That's fine. I wanted to talk about the fact that Catherine O'Hara passed away,
Yeah.
All right.
which was super surprising. One of the things that I thought was really, really sweet was the fact that Macaulay Culkin went on social media and was like, "Mama, you left me so soon," and just like had this super sweet message about how he thought he was going to have like all this time with her, and and just seeing like the fact that he's lost somebody that was a mother figure when he was younger is just so sad.
Yeah. I mean, she died at
R.I.P.
71. That's young.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Hey, we got Beetlejuice
I didn't realize
too,
she
though.
was in The Last of Us. Wasn't she was the therapist that Joel was talking to in The Last of Us?
I didn't even know she was in that.
She was in a lot.
Yep, I'm looking at
Obviously,
her.
very
right
well
now.
known for, like Schitt's Creek, Home Alone, Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
plenty of others that I haven't mentioned. Just going off of the few just right off the top of my head. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mhm.
she was a force in the acting world, that is for sure. I know she has like a primetime Emmy, and plenty more awards. But like I know she has an outstanding performance award from uh for like her comedy series. She has Golden Globes, so and plenty more
I
that
mean,
I
if you go
again
on
that
her
I'm not mentioning.
Wikipedia, you wonder if she even took time to breathe. How many movies and TV shows she's in?
She was busy.
Yeah.
Busy lady.
Yes, she was. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Any other entertainment news, everybody, before we move on?
Oh, I was just telling Dreaded before we started the show that they finished the script for Split Fiction, because I know we're going to be talking about a video game into a movie adaptation.
Nice.
So I'm really excited to see like how that gets played out, because that game is like so insane.
Yes.
And Morgan, we still need to play it.
We do.
We need to play it.
Also, shout out to the new Michael Jackson film biopic trailer that came out as well.
Mhm.
I don't have much to
Looking
say
good.
actually about it. I'll probably just repeat myself as last time, but yeah, I'm definitely there. First day.
If that
Singing.
ain't one of the best movies to ever come out, they failed.
Yeah.
I love so much that the actor playing him it's his nephew, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I love
Mhm.
that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I like
One of
that
these
they stuck in the family as opposed to like seeking an outside person.
And man, he just looks so much like him. Like he looks
Oh
a
yeah.
lot like young Michael. It's crazy.
Yeah, because if you
Right.
guys remember the first Michael Jackson movie that came out, that was they did not cast him properly.
Yeah, I'm not going cap out. Which one? The Jackson's The American Dream?
I think that was the name of it.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in
Okay.
so long, but I just remember him looking like Lou Ferrigno.
The
No.
fuck? Oh my god.
No. No.
R.I.P.
Also, fun fact: from the look of the trailers and everything like that, it seems like the film is covering Jackson 5 era to bad era. I'm not seeing anything from Dangerous and Beyond. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I can't wait. I really can't. Also, it's directed by Antoine Fuqua, which I have high hopes for because he has directed some really good stuff. From Training Day, Olympus Has Fallen, Equalizer. Magnificent Seven, Southpaw, and actually he did all the Equalizers. I did not know that.
Nice.
And he also produced Bullet Train. I forgot about that movie.
Movie.
Yep.
All
All right, that's all I got so far.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into our movie review. So tonight we are reviewing Iron Lung, and this is the 2026 American science fiction horror film that is actually written and directed by Mark Fishback, or more commonly known as Markiplier. So it is actually based on the 2022 video game by David Szymanski, and basically the plot follows a convict named Simon who is forced to pilot a submarine through a desolate moon's ocean of blood. Yes, blood. So after an event known as the Quiet Rapture caused the majority of humanity and all the stars to disappear without warning. So before we dive into all of our thoughts, let's talk budget and box office real quick. So this film does run 125 minutes. It was released on January 30th, and the budget was $3 million. So let me scroll down to my box office. So the film opened with 3.5 million on Thursday night previews and was initially projected to make 9 to 10 million domestically for its overall opening weekend. Well, after an 8.9 million opening day that included those Thursday night previews, projections were increased to 14 to 17 million, and then the film opened with an estimated 17.8 million from 3,015 theaters. So, one thing I want to say, by the way, is Mark only thought this was going to get to maybe 25 to 50 theaters. And there was a point where we only had very, very limited showings at a couple local theaters for all of us. And then all of a sudden, bam, way more showings, way more dates, more timing throughout the entire day, which is awesome. But to give you a more up-to-date number, in the in the United States and Canada, Iron Lung was released alongside Send Help, Melania, and Shelter, and is currently sitting at none other than $24.9 million as of yesterday.
You go, boy.
He made his 3 million back.
You got it, Mark. Now jump into our stream so we can talk to you.
Come
so proud of him.
join us.
I'm so proud of him.
I am. I'm proud. I'm a real proud person over here.
So, who here, out of the four of us, knew the lore, knew the game, or Markiplier's playthrough before going in? Okay. So, real quick, I already told Kitty and Dreaded this, but so you also know Brianne, and so our listeners in chat know. I went in purposely blind to see how it felt for a viewer who knew absolutely nothing about it. All I knew going into it that it was a horror video game that Markiplier had streamed and is now making a movie of. That is all I knew, and I purposely avoided looking up anything else. And then today, before, like when I had downtime during work, I did watch Markiplier's initial playthrough. I watched his the lore update, the cheat update, as well as a video game that was made off of the inspiration of it, which is called Sinking Iron. So I watched all those so I could then see how I felt about the film with also seeing the comparison to the game. So just letting that be known now. I will probably talk a little bit about how it felt without knowing info, but then how I felt after watching and seeing his playthroughs. But with that said, is there anywhere specific any of y'all want to start?
Well, I want to start because when I went in there, I saw this with a friend who got 2 tickets, so I just went with him and everything like that. He had actually asked me if I had high expectations for this, and I wasn't sure what to answer that because for like Mark, we know him good for his playthroughs and YouTube videos and everything like that. But we also have to give him credit for his more like ambitious projects, from A Date with Markiplier, A Heist with Markiplier, and then eventually In Space with Markiplier, which have all been, I mean, they're all very more humorous, but well written, well acted, especially on his part, and actually quite endearing to the point where I was emotionally invested in feeling some type of way for certain routes. And also, oh man, the storytelling in Space with Markiplier was so goddamn crazy. I had to just watch a compilation version on YouTube with every route, every possibility. So that way, it's like, wait, I'm lost. What route did I take? I cannot remember. So with that being said, like, yeah, I know Mark can make good stuff, like actually good stuff, and not stuff that I think only just the fandom would appreciate. So shout out for stepping even further into making a solid movie. Like, shout out there. And I loved it. I'm just saying it right now. I loved it a lot.
I went into it without like super high expectations. It was more like I went into it. I've seen we've done other video game adaptations where I've gone in and I'm like, I know this is going to be terrible, but I wasn't going in thinking that at all, just so you guys know. It was just more like I went in with an open mind. Like, it is Markiplier. He does have his own vision. He's always had a really good vision when it comes to talking about how video games are, like what he thinks about with developers and where they stand on their indie games when they make them, and then he gives you a really good understanding of like what he really thought of the game after he plays it. And so I went in thinking like, okay, well, Mark gets it. Like, he understands, like, from a gamer standpoint, like, we want to see things that are related to what we're seeing in a game that makes sense without skirting things. So I went in thinking, all right, well, I'm going to be open-minded. It's going to be a good time. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I think, like, just like Dreaded said, I really liked it. I think there was a lot of really good points to this whole thing, in which we'll dive into soon.
Yeah, I went in
And
zero
I guess
expectations.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Brienne. But yeah, I'm
No,
same
you're
boat as
good.
you,
You're
Kitty.
good.
I went in just kind of zero expectations because I didn't want to set any. That way I could give it a proper review. But go ahead, Brienne, please.
Yeah, I think I went into it with high expectations.
Mhm.
One thing about this movie that really caught my interest was, obviously he's a indie filmmaker,
Hmm.
but this is the one movie that broke the world record for most blood used in a movie.
That is true.
So I
80
was
gallons.
Yeah.
Sorry, 80,000
yeah,
gallons.
yeah, it was crazy. If you actually watched a video where he showed what the film set looked like, you see just vats of
Mhm.
blood everywhere. Um, I will say that because Markiplier directed it, because it's his movie, I and it's a, and I know and I understand that it's an indie film. I give him his credit. Um, was it did it meet the expectations that I thought it was gonna meet? Kind of. I think and I hate to be the guy that's like, I'm trying to be nice because I love Markiplier. I've been watching him since I was a kid, or not a kid, but whatever, late teenager. However long he's been on YouTube, I've been watching him. I just think the movie was too long. It
Mm.
was
Mm.
I think he, just him inside of the submarine for 2 hours was just, it was too long. And
I don't disagree with you.
I don't
I,
disagree there either.
yeah, like,
so that's where,
I
like,
wow. Go ahead.
I don't know. I just, I love, like, and then on top of that, I feel like even with that 2 hours, I didn't get enough lore.
Mm,
I know they kind of went through like the whole lore, like, why he was like in the position he was in. And I kind of left a little bit confused. I don't know. I,
I agree.
great shots, great editing. I think a lot of people said that they were struggling to separate Markiplier from the main character, but I didn't. Like, I forgot it was Markiplier after watching it. I was like, this guy is playing the role like pretty damn good. Um, but in my opinion, I don't think any other YouTuber could have made a Iron Lung movie as like this. Like, I don't think any other YouTuber would have done as good a job as Markiplier did with this movie.
I
But
agree.
like I said, I don't know. It could just be my TikTok brain or something. Um, I just think that too. I was telling people at work, I think it should have been a short film. Like, I think it could have got
Mhm.
the point across in 30 minutes. But good on him making it a feature film. Um, like I just said, I was very curious how they were going to do a movie where it's one, obviously they have voices and all that stuff and other people at like certain parts, but I was very curious how they were going to pull off one person in an enclosed space for 2.5 hours, well, almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, no, I think you make a lot of great points. I mean, there were times where we were sitting in this vessel, and it was that scene where he's just sitting there smacking the camera, smacking the camera, smacking the camera, and I'm like, how many more times are you gonna keep just hitting this camera, dude? Like, are we gonna get
Yeah.
to the point where we understand what you want to do? And and I'm not saying like what he did was wrong, because I know exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to create the intense moments. He was trying to bring you in and make you feel like you were in the vessel with him and everything. But I think if he just tightened up some of those a little bit more, it would have still gave you that feeling. And but also think about the game that he just did as an adaptation also. Like, this is not an easy game. There's literally nobody talks. All you have is reading and a map and then your vessel. And it's like you have to try to figure out, how do I make this into
There's
a
not a lot of
fascinating.
guidance.
Yeah.
No, there's not. And it's like the struggles he had to go through. And yeah, sure, he talked to the developer and publisher of the game. Like, we know that he did that because he wouldn't have just been like, oh, I'm not gonna, talk to this person to make sure that I'm hitting the marks. Like we've seen in other movies that have been adaptations where I've been like banging my head against a wall, and Morgan's seen that before. But I think that there was still some areas where like he could have just like not made it as feel as long in those areas, especially when we had the more quieter spots where he's just like, knocked out, getting up, and he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But I do think this was a challenge, and I love that he always challenges himself in a good way.
I
I mean, for
did
his
not
first
mind.
feature film,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
good.
It is his debut feature directorial film.
I actually didn't mind the length at all, everything, because of actually what Kitty said. Like, adapting Iron Lung is quite interesting considering what the game actually is. So all the new stuff he added, even if it's just some quiet, not much happening, but just watching him either lose his mind or just kind of adapt, I didn't mind at all. Really.
I wanted it to be a little shorter, or keep the length that it is, but give me a little more payoff and explanation of what's going on. Even if the character doesn't know, but
Mhm.
the audience knows. Because as somebody who went in completely blind and has no previous knowledge, I'm like, okay, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, but this is really dragging on, and I'm not getting a lot of that information I'm craving. So part of me is like,
Mhm.
okay, sitting there like, all right, when am I gonna learn something? And now watching the game, it's kind of the same way. Like, it is slow and moves slow. Like, I get it, but we get little lore bits here and there that are very well tied to when we get the lore update that he did. And I am kind of like thinking, okay, I love these flashbacks that we're getting. But I want to know more. There, like, it would be like, I know he was working with David Szymanski. David Szymanski's in the
Mhm.
credit roll. He's even on
Mhm.
IMDb as part of the cast, and I'm just constantly wondering, like, well, why couldn't we learn a little bit more about this world through the film? It's a different medium, and you have the original creator. Why couldn't we get a little bit more? Because at the end of the film, I kind of felt like, okay, I enjoyed what I got, but I'm also wishing we got more about what the hell happened with Simon and everything on that station, and that we kept getting flashbacks to, because I felt like we were going to get more of it. We were going to get a payoff, but then we never did.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Also,
never
before we
really
Makes
continue,
understood
sense.
like.
I
Oh,
just
go
want to
ahead.
say,
Go for
Hannah
it.
Backyards, thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
Yay!
shout out to Hannah. That's the homie right there.
There we go.
But no, my thing was like, I felt like the flashbacks didn't do anything for me. Like they didn't I understand like something happened where he blew the station up or something, but like I didn't
Yeah.
like, why did he do it? It was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why
Or why
what
was
made him
the
do that?
people he was working with do that? Like, he said he wanted to
Yeah,
stop them. He
right.
didn't
Why did
want
it
that
get
to
pinned on him?
happen. Exactly. I
Mhm.
wanted
Hmm.
more of that.
Like how did he get pinned, on the to have to do that?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Mm.
And
I think though his whole flashback issues that he was facing was then interrupted because he was in a fight or flight mode like 24/7. Like as soon as things started going haywire and they weren't listening anymore, he was like, I'm in this fight or flight mode and now I'm having
Sure.
psychosis issues. But also Simon, I mean, okay, so they gave him a name. Okay, the convict is actually given a name in the movie, where in the game you don't have a name. You're just that
Mhm.
person, right? So like I think that was the great time for that adaptation period of it. Cause like I felt like he went a little bit more straight course with some veering off, which is good because you want that, especially with the fact that like this is a great way to take a game that has like very little to it and make it more intense and everything. And so I think that's the part where I'm like, kudos to him for like thinking outside the box and working with the dev. But you're right, like there are pieces like he could have done a little bit more on in areas. But I think the biggest thing about this is like I struggle with the fact that they call this a horror movie because to me I'm like it's not a horror. Like I think like way scarier stuff happening. And this to me felt more like psychological thriller, like really getting into your head
I
and like
agree.
making you have to think like, how do I survive in real life? Like, yeah, there was the part where like he puts his hand up against the thing and he rips off his arm and everything. And I was like, really? Like there were so many parts where like I started giggling because it was just so silly in my head. But like the psychological like factors that he put himself through in this was interesting to me. But I do feel like the flashbacks or like him yelling at the lady on the intercom and then like the fact that they like didn't tell him stuff but like yeah I know he has the books and he could have read the books and all that stuff because he reads it later and he goes oh shit like I didn't mean it. um I just felt like there could have been a little bit more of that, especially with the fact of like now we're in a situation where you're adapting this and it's not just like we're not going to read. We're not going to sit here and read like text that comes up. That's not what this is about. This is about you saying, "Hey, I'm taking that text that's in the game and making it come to life." So I feel like yeah, there could have been some cool other added aspects to it, but he still to me did a really good job with it. So I'm just doing minor picking at this point.
Can we talk spoilers or no?
Oh, we're definitely talking
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah,
We
go for
gotta.
All
it.
right, all right. So one of the biggest things that bothered me was if you watch the game, they had like the jump scare at the end was one of the nastiest jump scares I've ever seen in
Yeah.
like one of the in a video game. And they got rid of it. Like I understand it was for the lore,
Yeah.
but like I was like, dang, I was waiting because I had my wife with me and she never seen the gameplay. So like I was waiting for that jump scare. I was like, I know that jump scare is gonna come. I know that jump scare is gonna come, and it never came. So like I was kind of bummed out by it. Like when the fish thing just burst through the sub.
When it came up, like, and you just see it do this
Yeah, right. But
in
in the
like
game,
in
like you
the
see
black
it
and
just
white.
shoot straight through the yeah, really
That's how
loud
they
noise
could
and
have
shoots through the
that's how they
sub
could
and
have
that's that
ended
ends.
it, you know? Like doesn't mean that the
Yeah.
device that like the black box that he saved and like was getting because obviously we see at the end that surfaced. That
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
found. Doesn't mean we still couldn't have ended with it being like him ending that way.
Yeah, it could have happened and then cut to the scene with the,
Exactly.
it floating. I don't know, like the Iron Lung world, like the universe of it is just so interesting. And I think
Hmm.
what it was like you said, I just, I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to learn more about like the world rather than just what was going on in the sub. Because I mean that's crazy. Like if you really think about it, like just something happens where all the stars disappear, and then there's a blood
Hmm.
ocean on the moon. Like I want to know more about that. I figured there'd
Yeah. I
be some more
also
things outside of the sub.
oh, what was her name? Ava.
Ava.
Yeah, Ava. I hated how vague she was. Like, I understand your comics, they don't need to freaking know why you're here. But I wanted to get to a point where when like he admits, I found the SM8. I know she's getting frantic mode, but she like I almost wish there was more of a reason like why this planet, this ocean was so important. Because at the end I was like, okay, well, everyone's dead. The black box got out and a helicopter or something or whatever's finding it. Cool, great. But what's it gonna do? And I don't think there is a strong likelihood of a continuation. There could be, but I think it's really doubtful. And I'm just sitting here again, striving to learn more. And I think that is for me what brings this movie down a peg for me is I did have fun with it. I like the drama. I like that they worked on the claustrophobia bit of it. I love how Mark put himself into the character of Simon. It's not easy for someone who hasn't done a lot of acting to dive into those psychological moments when it's just you. So, all that being said, what brings the movie down for me is the lack of learning something more. Because I'm sitting there, I'm the type of person who loves lore, and when I get the lore, I'm like, great. I'm trying to connect things. I'm trying to figure things out. I strive and like thirst for more of that information, and I'm really disappointed I didn't get it.
Mm.
Yeah, I think just like some of the scenes too, it could have been because I don't think we had like the Dolby Atmos, but like just audio was kind of getting confusing. Like I felt like I was focusing more on trying to hear what it was they were saying than it was
That's
like
fair,
than I was on the movie.
especially when you
That's
get like
actually
the voices for that from the SM8.
that's actually
Yeah.
the only issue I have
Yeah.
with the movie was just audio issues. That's actually the only problem I had.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
the
I think it was
beginning, it was
just like I
really
don't know, the
hard
mixing was
for me
weird.
to like, I
Yeah,
don't know if you
definitely.
guys had it, but in the beginning, it was like Markiplier was yelling, and then they had like the intense music behind him, and I was like, "What are you saying? I don't know
Yep.
what you're yelling
Mhm.
at her
Yeah,
for at
yeah.
this
Like
point." And
I could
so I was
hear
like, "Well,
him, but I agree. The audio levels could have
yeah,
been mixed better.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, and it
that's
was
the
just all the
that's the
filters, all the
Yeah.
filters on
Yep.
the intercom and stuff. It kind of made it really, really hard to just hear what was said.
that's the one gripe I have about the movie. But other than that, I actually surprisingly
Mhm.
don't.
I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah.
By all means, it's just it wasn't. I guess it just wasn't what I thought. I thought I was going to leave like super hyped and want to watch it again, but I didn't.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I definitely want to.
Um, this is in part my husband wasn't feeling great when we got to the theater. He got a really, really bad headache come on. But in the beginning, Dan nodded off because it was going so slow. He like got the intro, but then when it was just Mark by himself, again, partially it was like there was a point where it wasn't really loud. It was just like that droning atmospheric sound, dark, and it that movie is so dark, and I know the game is too.
Yeah.
But literally,
mhm."
Dan looked at me. Well, finally, I kept nudging him because he kept snoring. And finally, he was like, "Give me the popcorn. I need something to keep me awake." But like, because he was like, "This movie's so dark, it literally put me to sleep because of how wasn't so much because it was boring, but because of how dark it was." He was like, "The thing
Yeah,
put
it
me
was
right to
dark.
sleep."
It was a vibe.
Dark and red."
Yes.
But that's what the game is. The game is very dark
No,
and
And
red.
I agree.
for sure, for
I
sure.
agree
Yeah.
with that comment
Again,
too.
I will give the caveat though. He had an awful headache he was trying to get rid of before we got there, so that was the main reason probably why he fell asleep. But the atmosphere helped.
So, question, Morgan.
Sure.
After watching like his lore update, specifically the lore update, did any opinion of the film change for you?
So, not even just the lore update, even just watching it in general, and maybe it's because I knew what was going into like I already knew the movie going into the gameplay. Um, I actually gained more of an appreciation for the movie after seeing the gameplay, and
Hmm.
that in part isn't necessarily just because I learned more and I got a little bit of the like I got to witness the lore and the game itself, but I recognized moments from the movie in Mark, specifically how Mark reacted to the game. He also implanted those within his script and within the character Simon, and I really appreciated that because it helped add to the authenticity of the way he portrayed Simon because people are like, "Oh, I had a hard time separating Mark." I didn't because I didn't know, but maybe that led into that because he scripted those moments. But I think that was what gave him the edge to be able to act Simon.
Hmm.
One of the things that I realized when I was watching it was so having gone into it the other way, already seen all his
Mhm.
gameplay and everything, and then going into it was I could literally see Markiplier like as he's playing this game, right? And like that
Hmm.
was what kept playing in my head, like this is totally how he would react to this moment, like when things are going wrong and he's yelling at the screen, because he's trying to be that's what he does when he plays, right? He tries to come into like full immersiveness
Mhm.
of his gameplays. And so like the whole time I'm going, I feel like I'm like in him, like watching him play this game, but then he's like really there being the actor of this whole thing. So it was like, it wasn't that I had a hard time separating. It was more like it made me kind of more hyped for it as we were doing it because I'm like, I can't wait to see like what
Sure.
happens and how he like reacts to the next part of the game that is the part that he's going to show next in the movie. So like I think for me it just kind of added to the atmosphere and everything because I was like, I like this. This is like nice that he's got these little like nuances that we all know about him and that make it really exciting and everything. So I think some people have a hard time and I was like, no, man, really lean into it. You got this.
Yeah. I also really liked specifically from the lore update video. That was when he's like, all right, well, I have all these achievements, and well, I only went to where I went, like where there was markers on the map, but there's a whole other map to explore, which like helped explain like he kind of went to these moments of like, all right, now we're gonna go to like this X and this Y, and it kind of like really helped just be like, all right, well, this was obviously like the birth child of his idea and thought of the scene where he's
Mhm.
taping the map up on the wall and he's starting to track and like do things himself. So it was really fun to be able to like see those moments and like see his brain work because it's a really unique look into like the very beginning days of a filmmaker's mind. Like, because that there influenced why he scripted and why it is filmed that way, and it's a really fun and unique thing, especially for people who want to be filmmakers, and people who are filmmakers. Even I think this is something that can be looked at if you compare his gameplays, especially the original gameplay and the lore update, and you then watch Iron Lung. You compare the similarities. I think it can show like kind of proof, like idea to proof of concept, and how those can be done and executed. So there's a lot here that I really really like. The movie was probably rated lower for me prior to watching his playthroughs,
Mm.
Mhm.
but seeing those
Yeah.
definitely helped me enjoy the movie more.
It's funny because I was just saying how curious I'd be to like, get someone's opinion on the movie who never like really seen the gameplay. And I
Yeah.
think you're the perfect person for it just because you watched it afterwards.
Yeah, I
But
did it on purpose. I was like,
no,
Kitty was like, you should watch it. And I was thinking about it. I was like, I will watch it. But I think I'm going to watch it after I watch the movie.
hmm
Because I was like, I
that's cool.
knew Kitty and Dreaded for sure knew the game. And I was like, we
Well,
need somebody
I knew what the
who
game
doesn't know.
was. I didn't know what the full game looked like
Oh,
overall.
okay.
So I went in to go watch because I told you I was like, I'm gonna go do my research on it.
I
So at
got
least
you.
I have something to draw back on
I got you.
because I like to do the opposite. I like to compare game versus movie because of our tech show.
And,
Our tech show that we do,
and then there
I
was me,
just
who I actually had all the facts and everything going into the film and everything.
I just
Which
wanted to know how would this help? How would this? Because it's an indie film on an
Mhm.
indie game that is not very well known. Like it is pretty known because someone like Markiplier played it, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know about the game Iron Lung at all before the trailer released.
Well, it actually, yes and no. Like it started gaining more traction after the whole submarine issue that happened.
Oh, that's fair. I could see that.
Oh,
Yeah. So people were starting to like look for it and he was making more money again, the developer, and he was like, this feels weird and I don't like this. But like, yeah,
Mm,
people like Markiplier and other big top streamers kind of put these games on the map. I mean,
sure,
that's what they
sure.
do. That's like
It's
their job,
but the game
kind of
is
like what we're
still a
trying to do.
little. It's still a little niche because like it
Yeah.
wasn't. I genuinely never heard of it. Like, and you know me, guys. I dive into the depths of Steam.
I know
I
It
you
have,
wasn't even on Steam at first.
yeah.
It was
I
on
have
itch.io.
seen. I have seen things on
Yeah.
Steam that I will not repeat to people,
Mhm.
but
That's the good stuff right there.
but
You told me some things, and I was like, "Okay, Morgan."
I was at the point where someone else needed to feel my pain, but no, I'm just saying like I wanted to really know how would this hold up to somebody who just happened, let's say, pull up the listing of movies out and be like, this one sounds intriguing, an ocean of blood, let's find out what that's about, but knows zero, nada, like absolutely nothing. How would this feel for them? And that's kind of like why I went in first without the knowledge.
And
Well,
that's
my
fair.
wife again, she saw it and she didn't watch like any Markiplier. She didn't even know who Markiplier was when we saw the movie.
What?
Um, yeah,
Ma'am.
no,
Most
she
people
she
don't.
That's a
doesn't
whole
watch
nother level.
gameplays,
People that
and
don't know who
so
he is.
I think she just left confused. Honestly, like she just didn't
Mm.
really understand
Honestly,
any of it. And then I
I
showed her the
kind of
gameplay
did.
of it a little bit.
I kind of agree. Like left slightly confused, and I think honestly slightly annoyed because I didn't get more info. Like, but I
Hmm.
also didn't like knock it. I was like, okay, maybe they're leaving this up for interpretation because there was a lot of psychological stuff. I can play around with it, but man, I really just wish I had a little bit more meat to go off of to maybe create my hypotheses. And
Well,
Hmm.
yeah,
well, it's funny you say that actually because for me personally, I feel like the movie actually did low key answer some lingering questions I had from the game. Actually, for if I'm being honest, because I feel like the movie low key might have somewhat explained the Ocean of Blood in a way, actually. To a degree. Well, let me start
Mhm.
basic actually, because there's one. So you guys talked about the jump scare at the end didn't get adapted, which I was waiting for too, but when it didn't happen, I wasn't really mad.
mhm.
There was
Right.
one thing I was waiting for, and that's when his random teleportation happens, actually, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. However, before the movie even came out, because
Technically,
I
it kind
got
of happened though.
Yeah, we end up in the cave. I guess you would say that.
When
Not
he ends
even.
up
well,
I love that
it's
scene.
not even. I wouldn't even say that.
no, when he ends up out of the
Mhm.
water, covered in blood, right?
Yeah,
That
like
that that's not what that
Oh
that's
there's
not
yeah,
what
yeah,
that
this.
yeah.
is.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Hmm.
That's not what that is actually. That's more of a hallucination thing. But I also still think that
But
has relevance to answer the questions of this world too.
hallucination could be a good interpretation for teleportation. You thought you teleported, but it was actually you were just
Mhm.
hallucinating. Like,
That could be the case, except like in the game, you actually do teleport. Like
true.
you actually genuinely teleport. And although it's not necessarily clear, but I
What you
think
thinking?
that. Hey, I'm trying to get figure out what. Can you get, so in the game, there's one point of reference you travel to, and it's called the Void Star. It's basically that glowing light thingy that he finds before you
Mm,
teleport the second time, actually. And me, myself, including a few other people on YouTube who aren't Markiplier, who have been making videos about breaking down the lore and theorizing the world of Iron Lung, actually, we came to the same conclusion that the Void Star might have something to do with the Quiet Rapture hardcore, actually, because keep in mind, like once he got close to that thing, actually, everything was freaking out, vibrating and stuff like that, and then
yeah.
possibly it teleported him and had us thinking. I wonder if that has anything to do with the Quiet Rapture, actually, considering maybe it's that on a smaller scale, actually.
So are
And
you thinking that things weren't destroyed, they were just teleported somewhere else? Like the stars and
that's
everything else?
that's a theory.
Okay.
Like it's possible. Yeah, so there are a few options. Option A is that yes, they went somewhere else, like the planets, anything that was with resources.
Okay.
Option B, those on space stations teleported away from Earth, like far
Mm.
away from Earth and everything. And then option C, and this is where the movie got me. The blood ocean, because they established in game and in movie that it's human blood actually, but the movie takes a step further and has Mark start kind of hearing all these voices and stuff like that, and by
Sure.
the end of it, when he starts getting disease, he's like merging, with the submarine and stuff and all the blood and everything like that, which makes me think, oh, wait a minute. I wonder if, because he did talk and work with the creator of the game, I wonder if this is explaining, like, okay, everyone who might have gotten teleported got teleported here, mixing and merging into Blood Ocean through, supernatural or eldritch ways. And the way his arm, became part of the sub is like, I wonder if that's what's happening here. I wonder if like he was slowly becoming part of it, and the reason he was hearing so many voices, not just because you're losing your mind in a submarine that doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen, but maybe there's actually
Kind of like a hive
something more
mind.
there. Yes, exactly. And that also might explain that hallucination where he's out of the sub and he looks into the giant eye in the sky too.
I
So
think
like
the
a lot of
whole
things
Quiet
is
Rapture lore. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I think the whole Quiet Rapture lore make a really good book, actually. Like the
I
way you're
agree.
explaining it.
So yeah, like I feel the movie low key might have possibly gave people a bit more root of what where to look for answers in the world of Iron Lung. And also, it's fun. I also have terminal logs from the lore update on the wiki page up and ready too, just in case I have to read anything else, anything. And the first one is for the Quiet Rapture, actually, because the film doesn't really. Well, I don't remember because I watched this on Thursday night showing like that
I
first.
do not think they very well explained it because I saw it last night and left
Oh, okay, there you
confused.
go. So, if you guys don't mind, I can actually read off what the terminal entry for the Quiet Rapture is. And for
Yeah.
those in chat who don't know, Iron Lung had an update, which we've mentioned a few times, where they added a terminal where you can learn some more lore and everything like that. And you'd actually have to type in certain things to learn. So if you type in the Quiet Rapture or Rapture or just Quiet Rapture, and it says, and I quote, in 357 EIC, without any prior warning, radio contact with our respective planets was suddenly cut. No one can recall having visual contact with any planets when the incident occurred or experiencing any other unusual phenomena. So it is uncertain what exactly might have happened. Upon investigating, it was observed independently by several stations that where there had previously been planet, nothing had remained. Further investigation over the following months revealed that all known planets that had sentient life, flora and fauna, a habitable atmosphere, or any form of natural resources were likewise gone, along with all the known stars. The only celestial bodies that have been found since are either uninhabitable moons or asteroids. Many theories have been proposed for this disaster, including religious interpretations of it as a literal rapture, which is also another theory that I've read immediately after I watched the movie. Some unknown quantum anomaly or something more cosmic and sinister. There are no concrete answers yet. And it seems like the movie might be leaning more towards the cosmic and sinister as well.
Well, what's interesting too is they kind of used some of that in the beginning to kind of like set up everything too. They actually used part of that log because some of the sentences that you were saying, I was like, oh yeah, I remember them saying that in the beginning. But I think there was just so much said to you in the beginning for you to try to remember, and then all of a sudden you're like thrown into like what's going on, you know? So I
It
think
was
where
very
they
go,
put
go,
it,
go in the
yeah.
beginning.
So like, and then it slowed down, right? Like it was
Yeah.
like we're going, and slow time.
Information overload, but you learned too much to process it now that it's quiet.
Yeah, and I think that's like it's not bad, right? But it's
Sure.
also not good at the same time. So it's kind of like you need to find that happy medium of like we're going to tell you information, but we're not going to try to information
Yeah.
overload you
I
because
think
you can't remember.
I think it works well for getting us to feel a bit of Simon's like mental process
Mhm.
and state with
Right.
like the situation, but it doesn't help us, the viewers, especially someone who knows nothing going into it, any understanding of what the hell's going on, other than, all right, you're a convict and, well, you're getting maybe your time back, but probably not because you're probably just going to get fucked over and down here and die. Enjoy drowning in blood. It's kind of like how
Well,
it
I love
felt.
the fact like throughout the whole thing he's like, "So have you guys done this before? Have others come back?" And they're like, "No, you're the first one." And then he asks later and they're like, "We've had people come back." He's like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck? You told me I was
Yeah.
the first. There was nobody." Like he just totally does like a 360 on them. It's like so mad.
Funny enough, there actually is another. I mean, the movie doesn't get into it, but the game actually there is an explanation for why that is too. Actually, so let me find the. There are two entry logs I think that explain it. So if you look up the SM-13, which is the actual name for the Iron Lung,
Yeah.
Mhm.
1 in 4 service underwater crafts fashioned by the COI for use in convict realization in the blood oceans. It is designated for deep liquid photography and analysis. Also, there is a lot of information redacted, which I think is a unique factor of like, oh, this COI needed to like they hide stuff from the people, just like real life. All rumors of the SM-13 and similar crafts being used for so-called mob justice by way of forced suffocation or otherwise have been proven false, which gets contradicted if you look up SM-8, because that becomes a big plot point, actually, which you guys brought up earlier.
Right.
And this was in my opinion, the best entry in the terminal log, actually, too, because it opened up the door for so many things and also answered some questions as well. And the reason, of course, Ava is they're not telling him anything because, like, yeah, this is supposed to be mob justice. And as said here, if you look up SM8, once you find it, which isn't a point of interest on the map, you, like you said earlier, you have to just go look. And if you find it, you find it. Look up SM8. Hopefully they don't redact this before updating the database. What most people don't understand is that not all subs are built equal. The SM8 isn't a burner sub. It really is for exploring and surveying blood oceans. If they send you down in the iron lung, they don't give a fuck if you come back. Or if the sub comes back, because it's a pile of garbage and you're a piece of shit. You come back with photos, great. You sit down there and suffocate quietly, even better. But if you send the SM8 down, one of the scientists is piloting it, and they all expect him to return. And now the SM8 is in the blood ocean in pieces. No, not hit a rock pieces or sprung a leak pieces. It looks like something tore it up. And the weirdest thing is that nobody seems surprised. We might have found the first planetary life since the Rapture, and they're acting like it's not a big deal. I know you're next in line for realization in the iron lung, but they don't, and that usually means you won't be seeing the stars again. But they don't have an SM8 anymore. They have 3 burner subs and a lot of curiosity about AT5, and that maybe that means you have a chance. So, way I look at that is like, so yes, the SM8 becomes a plot point, but they don't handle like how the game, because the game is very you're on your own. I mean, they mean you're on your own. So I mean, you have to leave your interpretation. So Mark and oh god, who made this game again?
David Szymanski.
David. I would say came together and thought to themselves, let's adapt this, but make it more, film-like. That's sort of what explains some stuff actually too. Going into the movie with that knowledge definitely helps because, initially they were just gonna leave him to die down there. If he dies, whatever. But once the SM8 became involved, like, wait. Now you actually might have some use because we need that information that for AT5 that the SM8 might have actually and everything like that too. So I like that was how they adapted the questions and the mysteries about the SM8 and just the possible slight hope that you don't have, but you could have had if you thought about it,
No, I did too. I like that they used it as a pawn piece, as opposed to just, oh, you found it and then you're lying, so just fuck off, go die kind of situation. Like, I thought that was a really good pawn piece for him to have in there. I did feel bad for him though in the end though, because he's like, if I do this, I get to leave, and they're like, sure, whatever, kind of situation.
We'll agree with you for now.
Right. And I was like, don't give somebody hope, like, I know you want to because you want your shit, but like at the same time, I'm like, I still feel bad for him in the end.
There was a part of me that was like, I wonder if they'll change it. Will you get out of this alive? I knew like you're not, but they said like, I don't know, because I feel bad too. And it's not helping that it's being played by Markiplier too.
Yeah, a part of me was like, are they gonna make it? Yeah, I was like, are they gonna like make it like maybe the iron lung still gets destroyed, but he manages to escape somehow? Because remember when he like crawled under? I was like, is this his way to like? I know he was getting the black box and all that stuff, but I was like, is he gonna escape somehow and magically appear at the top and be happy and all this stuff? And no, okay,
that's what I thought the life vest was for. He was gonna somehow be able to float up.
Right, that's what I was thinking too.
I figured he was putting that around the black box. So I was like, at a point, I was like, no, he's not making none of this.
I would have liked if he could have survived, but the other like Ava and like her team died, and like we're stuck with like this. I need questions, but I am mutated. I am fucked up. Like, he's not gonna ever be free. He'll become a test subject. But I would almost have been curious, like, what could he have seen? Like, what could he have seen? Like, maybe if he was able to surface. So I don't know. Makes me wonder.
I do give him kudos though for dying. Like, most main actors will be like, I don't want to die in the movie. Don't make me die. So the fact that he was like,
kill me,
I kind of have to die kind of thing is kind of like,
he wrote himself to die.
Right. Yep. Kudos to you for actually going through with it,
Also, I remember earlier you guys had questions about the conflict between like the whole filament station and how it was blown up and everything too. Fun. Also, part of the lore in the world of the game is that there are like two groups of remaining humans. One being the COI, standing for the Consolidation of Iron, and then there's Eden, which Simon is actually from actually. And with resources dwindling, they're the last survivors, and humans kind of sucking half the time. There was gonna be conflict actually,
Sure.
and that conflict would eventually lead to the destruction of Filament Station, which the movie says blows up, but the game actually says that it was a radiation leak, a massive radiation leak that left it uninhabitable, like unable to be lived in anymore. So that was interesting changes. I like a lot of the interesting changes. I like all the changes they made to make it more, film-like. Because like we said, Iron Lung was going to be a bit of a tricky thing to adapt if they strictly went off the game. But once he got pulled up for the first time, no. Once he was, doing his thing, taking the pictures, and you saw quick references to all the point of interest from the game, I was like, oh, wait, are we speedrunning this? And then he gets pulled back. I'm like, oh, they're doing this differently, actually. Like, he's actually interacting with other people.
I thought they were speedrunning it too at first. I was like, oh, we're going to just speedrun now. This is cool.
Also, neat shade. I like to use the camera as like a radiation camera, because I didn't even think, like, you can't take pictures in through blood. Like, oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
And I also like the little twist, like, you saw a skeleton, because you find skeletons all over in the game, but when you see one under the water, like, under the blood, like, oh, wait a minute, extra, that may not have been just a skeleton. That might have been alive.
Mm-hmm.
I like that change to it. Whatever changes to it. These are all like, I'm gonna, you say like nitpicks if you're gonna critique a movie. I have nitpick likes and stuff like that for this movie. Like, I like the difference in how he finds the note from the previous convict who was in the Iron Lung,
cool.
rather than finding just a note on the ground. He has to get the terminal up and going.
Yeah.
Also, fun
I like
fact,
the
that
little
was
jump scare that they used too in it, where he thought he saw someone, and I was like, and then I sat back and went, but it's not that type of movie.
Yeah, that was an interesting change. I was like, whoa, what the hell?
You're right. I was like,
hallucinations.
Right.
Also, fun fact,
My
Troy
wife
Baker
said that she thought that was like, or at the end of it, she was like, that was him that he seen, because he was all like calcified and arm was missing and stuff.
Oh, that's a good
shit.
point.
Kind of did seem like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And he sat in the seat at the end too, I think.
Oh shit!
But I'm
That's
talking about
genius.
the part where he looks at where the camera is, and you see the dude just.
Yeah, in the chair.
No, not in the chair.
No, it's in the
He just
beginning
walks.
when he walks by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
he
was
went
thinking
to
about
grab
the hallucination.
Yeah, that for sure. Yeah, I agree.
But the person walking is also a start of a hallucination, because you're so trapped inside of a vessel that you can't see anything. So like you start thinking that you're seeing stuff.
I
so
mean,
everything's
like they say that when they finally like hear him again, you're like, you've been missing for days. It wasn't just hours and like a day or whatever that he's been gone. He's been missing for days. So like there has been.
It felt like hours.
Yeah, there has been time, and that's one thing. Like, funny enough, like when you go like cave diving and everything, you have to be really mindful, because what could feel like hours can actually be days, because you don't have sunlight to guide you and to get, like, have your clock moving normal. So same situation, you're in an ocean you can't see through, or you have to have your shield door up, otherwise pressure's going to break your glass. So yeah, it's interesting.
Speaking of that pressure, I did laugh so hard when he's standing there and it started cracking through and it just went on his face. I don't know why. I was like, this is so silly.
A little spurt of
And
blood.
that's
Yeah.
how
Everybody was
Adaptation
laughing.
started.
I was like, only Markiplier would make sure that he got spurted with blood.
It touched his eyeballs.
Mark-
That's where it started.
Mark makes a lot of shit funny.
I didn't realize he was hospitalized. Did you know that he got hospitalized making this movie?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He got too much fake blood in his eye.
Yeah.
That is like, oh my God. Mark, how many times are you going to go to the hospital? You don't go because you had like a quote unquote heart attack because you can't handle alcohol. the pickle to the eye, the blood in the eye, and I think something else. I can't remember what.
Oh, there was a ton. He broke his nose.
That too.
Yeah, he there was something else that was happening that he had to go to the hospital. I was like, dude, can you just stop? Stop going to
I
the
don't remember.
hospital.
It gets to a point where I'm like, oh, he's back in the hospital. What now? And I think he's gonna be all right. God damn it, Mark. Also, fun fact: Troy Baker's in this movie as well.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
David, the guy who gets flashed with radiation, the welder.
Take that, David.
David.
He
Also-
David.
Also, more fun fact: other YouTubers have vocal cameos too, from Jacksepticeye, who also played Iron Lung, Rachel Hofstetter, who is also known as Valkyrie, and Ethan of Markiplier and Friends. And as much as I love Jack, oddly, my favorite one was Mick Lauer, who is well known in the Markiplier verse for playing a couple of characters in his Who Killed Markiplier series to his High School Markiplier series. And he is also the voice of Android 13 in TFS's Super Android 13. I wish Luke was here for that. So, yeah. Y'all got me a little in there.
Well, does anybody have any other thoughts before we dive into our official ranking, like our rating of the movie?
Also this movie is making some rounds online for talking. So it's not the first time a movie of a smaller budget, when maybe a rabid fan base, is coming out with articles and videos and TikToks about how this movie is saying "fuck you" to Hollywood again. And I do like when that happens, actually, too, because apparently, if it's all true, Hollywood seems a little bit butthurt that, a movie like Iron Lung, made on a budget for just $3 million, not even a real studio, is like, it's a hit. It's kind of a hit, actually. And Hollywood's just like, man, fuck you, man. I think there was even a point where I don't remember what website or what list, but something took Iron Lung off of like a list of some sort. And then it was eventually put back on because
It
of
was
like
off of the box
not even
office list.
That's what it is. Not even fan art cry. It was more of like just audience backlash because of that, actually.
Right.
And you know what? I love when this happens, because this movie gives us hope for us wannabes. It shows that, hey, fuck you, big studios. We can make these things like that too and turn out a hit, and people will like us more.
All you gotta have is $3 million.
All I gotta have, maybe sometimes maybe even less. Who knows?
It's true.
So that makes me happy. But yeah, that was my last point I wanted to make regarding the film. Actually, we can go on to ratings if we'd like.
Sure. Brian, do you want to start us off?
I'll start. Dang. I said it landed between. I'm going to be nice. I want to say this is me being nice. It landed at a 6 for me.
Okay.
5 being average, 6 being like slightly above average. It was his first film, $3 million budget, very creative with a limited amount of like money and space they had. Again, I don't think anybody could have made this movie, like this game adaptation, as good as Mark did. Like it was like Mark or nothing for this. Just again, just circling back, I think my biggest thing was it could have been shorter. Or if it was going to be 2 hours and 20 minutes, they could have went deeper into the lore.
Who wants to go next?
Kitty, go ahead. We'll let our guests go first.
Okay. So I've been on here several times talking about different game video adaptation movies and everything. And this one actually is one that I'm very proud to say is a very good video game adaptation. Everything from the fact that Markiplier did his homework, he sat down with the developer, he thought about the process behind how he wanted things to look, understood how the game structure of it is put together, incorporating factual pieces from the game that we have seen, like the pictures from the camera are spectacular that he's chosen to put in from the game, like that are locations that you would correlate to as a gamer. And so I think like minus the minor things that I have brought up, like, yeah, there were areas that could have been tightened up a little bit, some audio issues that seemed like we were in music land over him screaming at someone. But I'm going to give it an 8.5, and which is actually a lot higher than I've given a lot of the other video game adaptations from being on your guys' show. So, and that's a big feat for me. So I'm proud of myself for that one.
Shall I go next, or you want to go, Morgs?
Doesn't matter.
You go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you two different reviews. I'm gonna give you the right when I walked out of the movie theater, and then what my review was after I watched the playthroughs that I was mentioning earlier. So, I agree. There needs to be some audio fixes. Like there could be some even just simple leveling and a little bit of better audio mixing, especially in the beginning. Um, for the length, I wanted more info. I wanted more lore. I didn't hate the length, but because I didn't get more of it, I think we could have tightened up the edit and the cut a little bit more than we did. But overall, I do really really enjoy the firstly the aesthetic, like how it looks. It's grungy, it's gross, it's bloody. um, I love how Mark portrayed his character. It felt pretty authentic. Um, and I really really enjoyed just even though I didn't get more lore, I was constantly curious. I had this foreboding like curiosity, like I'm like kind of this weird feeling of like I know whatever I learn is not going to be good, but I want to learn it. And um I do have to give it props for making me so curious and wanting to know more, because it does take a specific type of movie to capture me that way. And I love myself a good psychological horror thriller type of game and especially movie. So with all that being said, coming out of it, I think I was a 7. Like I did enjoy it, but I wanted more. But after watching his gameplay, especially the lore update, getting to see how his own authentic reactions were in oh still authentically written to fit his character Simon and to add into his acting. Like there's so much betrayal between his reaction to the game and then how he actually wrote this movie. And I love that as a filmmaker. I love being able to see that and being able to see and recognize that his personality is in it in that way. So after watching it, I'd probably rate it an 8.
And then there was me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like tens across the board. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I can't give this movie a 10.
No.
Mark, I love you, but this isn't a 10. I can't even say 9. Kitty, I'm with you on 8.5, actually. It was almost. I walked out of this movie really, really liking it because I'm one big fan of Markiplier himself. I've been watching that man since 2013, since he released his Outlast playthrough. And I am a big fan of Iron Lung. The world is interesting. The concept of the game is interesting. I love the sound design in the game. Movie has great sound design. Turn it down a little bit. I can't hear all the dialogue, and I kind of really want to.
I want to hear you yelling.
So when this movie drops on like DVD, I will buy it, and I'm turning those subtitles on to figure out what did I miss? What did I miss?
Yeah.
But but like I love that this movie. The thing I love most is that this movie kind of provides more context and maybe even more evidence to some theories that us in the fandom of Iron Lung have had to like maybe give it a more concrete answer on what happened, why it happened, and what everything means going in and everything like that too. I like the little changes from having more interactions with more people and everything like that. Mark's performance is great. I knew Mark could act. He always has a comedic aspect to him in his like online stuff, but when he got more serious, I believed him. So it was easy for me to separate Simon from Mark, honestly. The effects are great. 80,000 gallons of blood. I'm proud of you, man. Beat Evil Dead 2013. Nicely done, actually. I like the references to the game, even if it's changed. And like I said, I love that that now because of this movie, and it was in Mark worked with David. I can like confidently say I think the movie is trying to tell us a bit more, unless the movie wants to do a little bit of a separate thing. Who knows? What maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But either way, I like the idea that the movie gives me more answers possibly to the game. Fucking ads. I am so sorry, Luke. Shit.
Gotta make the channel money one way. Sorry, bud.
And I gotta say too, it was really fun to watch this movie full in a theater full of Markiplier fans. I even saw somebody dressed as Wilford Warfstache, so that was awesome.
Nice.
And for his featured directorial debut, like you did, really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I like changes, and fuck you, Hollywood, if your butt hurt because this movie is outdoing you, then suck it, loser. So yeah. Also, I love the new aspect of the Eldritch cosmic horror stuff too. Again, it gives us more answers, if you ask me. I think that's my favorite thing is that this movie provided me with answers. I know going into it, if you don't know much about Iron Lung, you're most likely gonna come out confused. Like I was ready for that, but you're all wonderful. Oh, I thank you, Luke. I mean, if only you were here too, you could be wonderful with us.
Yeah. If only you weren't so lame. I didn't see the movie.
It's okay. We still love you, though. So, all in all, Iron Lung, I really, really liked, and I'm going to continue to support Markiplier by gassing this movie up, and I will buy this movie on DVD if he releases it on DVD.
I do
And I'll
want to
see it.
say
Respect
too, because the birthing father of this whole story, this world is David Szymanski. The game is on Steam. It is normally $7.99, but for the next like almost 37 hours, it is on sale 50% off for $3.99. So if anybody wants to experience the game that inspired Markiplier, it is available on Steam for $4 right now.
I already own it. Yeah.
I can't really wait to see what he does next. I know he's going to have more ideas of
I
things
think
that he
it
wants
scratched an itch for him,
I
and
think
It
so.
probably did.
and usually when you scratch that itch, like you just kind of usually keep going with it. So I am excited to see what comes next. Maybe we will get the proper Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, he won't jump on
Just-
that one. Sorry,
No.
not going to
I
happen.
actually don't
He
want
won't
him
touch
to.
that one.
Leave that alone. Leave that alone.
Yeah, he's not going to touch that one. He'll touch
No,
another
he
indie
probably
game
doesn't want to
for
pay for the
sure.
royalties on that one. I don't blame him.
No, because this was all out of his pocket. So no, he's not going to touch that.
Leave Five Nights at Freddy's out of it, definitely. Although, what other things could Mark maybe adapt?
I saw something about House of Something being talked about for like a possibility of another one that he might do.
I'd work with Mark to finally make my Dead Space adaptation.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, I'd work with him to make a Lethal Company adaptation.
Oh, okay.
Guys, oh my god. Hey. Okay, it's officially here. Mark, don't watch the stream. Don't steal my idea. Because I've had this idea actually in the chamber for a Lethal Company adaptation. And I'm being dead serious.
Then why are you gonna say it? Anyone could steal it.
Because I'll cut you.
Markiplier, if you're watching this right now, still follow them though.
Please do. Hey, Breon, you want to make a Lethal Company adaptation?
I'm down for it, man.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Even though you never played it with me.
Oh,
I think we played it once.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say, yeah. I remember you and Luke got annihilated by a turret. Oh, Luke's right. Hunt Showdown. I forgot we talked about that too. Hunt Showdown. Yep, you just said it again.
Hunt Showdown would be sweet.
Yep. Hey, I actually do have ideas.
Oh
for
God,
that
are you
too.
gonna put the giant spider in it?
No.
Exactly.
I'm not putting that in that nor Lethal Company. I will.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. You know what?
No,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
save it. I'll
'Cause
save it.
I hate it. I would hate it. I would not.
I do too. I hate it too.
I'm like, no, leave me alone.
All right.
All right.
With all that being said, everybody, thank you for joining us. We are the Wannabes Podcast. And special thanks again to French Kitty and Brian San. Real quick before we leave, I'm going to put you both on the hot spot. Starting with you, Kitty. Where can everyone
Okay.
find you?
So I am on everything. No, I'm just kidding. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, and I also host a lovely tech podcast with that lady up there, Techeries. So make sure to tune in on Sunday. We have a jam-packed show for you also coming up where we'll be talking about all kinds of things that are happening. There's the next chapter in the Blizzard series that they're doing. We've got some Nintendo Direct news coming in.
No,
So you'll want to tune in for all, stop it. You'll want to tune in for all the fun on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. And I'm not solo this weekend. Yay!
Woo!
all right, Brian, where can they find you?
All right, TikTok and Instagram, Breon_sign. Shameless plug, if you want to see a game like Iron Lung, I actually played one. It's called Voyager 19 on my YouTube channel. Same thing on my YouTube though, Breon Sign. Haven't posted in a while, but I plan on getting back to the content here soon. So
Feel that.
stick with me and you'll see some things come back
Oh, now
as
that
soon
I'm
as I
getting my
get
voice
myself
back,
together.
now that my voice is coming back, I'm like, all right, True Tash, here I come. Soon enough, I'll be there.
Until you get sick again.
You know
No,
what?
don't you jinx it.
Maybe I'll brave my internet issues and start streaming again too. Actually,
Do it. Return for all three of us.
let's do it, y'all. Let's get back in there.
And then maybe we could play
I've
some
been
Lethal
there. I've
Company
been doing
again.
it. What are you
Hey,
talking
I've never
Yeah.
played Lethal Company. I'll play it.
Oh my god, that's gonna be the funniest shit.
I
right, you guys
promise
just
I'll
tell
at
me.
least be more competent than Luke.
Oh damn!
Damn! I'm just gonna stick with
Oh.
species unknown. It's scary enough.
No, I can't like it. It's just fun.
By the
giving
way,
him
if you guys
shit.
want to check out some shit, go watch those live plays.
Yeah, right. All right,
Yo,
everybody.
no.
Once again, we are the Wannabes podcast. Thank you both for joining us. We love it when we're able to have guests here on the show. And y'all, as always, you both are fantastic. But real quick, for the Wannabes podcast, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We got Blue Sky, LinkedIn. I'm forgetting others, but we're also on
Threads.
Twitch and YouTube.
You on Threads?
Yes, we're also on Threads. Thank you. I went out of
Follow us on
order.
all those
I went
places.
out of order, so then it screwed up my order. But with that being said, everybody, we will have this up on YouTube if you are catching it here on Twitch and miss it, or if you didn't get to watch all of it on YouTube right now, you can, start from the beginning on our YouTube channel, and then it'll eventually be out over on Spotify as well. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna call it here. We will see you next week. We are live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll see you next time, y'all. But don't forget the popcorn.
If you forget the popcorn, I'm gonna drench your eyes with blood.
Don't go to the hospital.
Put you in an iron lung.
All right. Have a great
Yes.
night, everybody.
Mob
See ya.
justice.